What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm excited to bring to you episode 3 of On the Shelf, my DC Snyder-Verse display. Now in this series I'm currently documenting rearranging my entire collection, and today it's the DC Snyder-Verse. I've made a big move. I've moved it from inside the module case to up on top, and I can't wait to see what you think. But before we zoom in to take a look, do us a favor, hit that like button, notification bell, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get to it. Okay guys, so as mentioned, I've moved my entire DC Snyder-Verse collection out of the module case and up to the very top here. Now, when it comes to this, there are a few things I'm debating and trying to figure out whilst in the process of doing this, which I'll touch on now to give you some insight as to what I'm thinking. I'll start with the negatives first. Some of the things I worry about by having them displayed up here are like the potential of them falling off, obviously, dust build-up by not being in the module case, lighting them up correctly, and finally, would they even look good displayed up here? However, the positives of this move and display choice are, in the module case where I had them displayed where they were before, they were very cramped and I couldn't really make use of the dioramas and wired capes like I wanted to. So by moving them up to the top here, I now have the room to spread them out and let them breathe, all the while utilizing the empty space at the top of the display unit and clearing up a shelf in the module case for other figures. I think there's more to be done with this display before it's finished and I'm happy with it, but where I am now I'm content with its current state and the potential it has for a long-term display space in the collection room. Now let's zoom in and take a closer look. Okay, to kick this off, I have the BVS Batman on the Batman themed gargoyle base. Now when I originally purchased this base, it was with the intention of displaying it with this figure. I love the look of this figure and Ben Affleck's portrayal of the character. It is in fact one of my favourite figures in the collection. I also added a custom wired cape to complete the look by Unreal Toys. You can find him on Insta, he does great work. Shout out to you brother. If you go visit him, tell him I sent you. My goal has been for a while now to have Batman posed up on this base with his cape flowing in the wind as if he's up high on the ledge looking over the collection room as he should. Finally, to keep him safe, I do have a flight pole up behind his back and in between the cape and him, which also holds really secure and makes me feel comfortable leaving him this way. Moving on to the black suit Superman. I really like this version of Supes. Notably, they made some changes from the red and blue version too, like adding a wired cape and adjusting the body so you can have his arms down closer to his sides, which does look more natural. For this pose, I wanted to have him hovering, looking eerie and still whilst utilising the angry head sculpt to show he's about to go off. As the cape wires are unfortunately still pretty weak, I've added a wire at the back which is wrapped around the flight pole to assist with the look I'm going for with the cape. Other notable things with this guy are, I've opened up the back of the suit so I could add a paper clip which is also wrapped around the top of the flight pole with 2 prongs that hook into his back to hold him up. This is much safer as it avoids damaging the suit with the waist grabber and also adds to the illusion of him hovering in the air. Taking a look at the Nightmare Batman now, and I have to say I really love this figure. All of the details are fantastic, especially the accessories he comes with. He's just a badass. I've had a lot of fun posing and doing photography with this guy. If you want to check out what I've done with him already, check out my Batman and Superman posing videos which are out now on my channel. For this display, I have him in a very basic pose, just standing there, holding the assault rifle and utilising the aggressive mouth plate to match up with the black suit Superman and his angry head sculpt. Honestly, he has so many posing options, I'll probably end up changing him up and the black suit Superman poses eventually to be more dynamic in the space that they take up here. Moving on to the red and blue Superman. I have him in the middle, up the top here, hovering with cape flowing in the wind, looking down on the collection room, and I have to say, looking up at him from my desk in person, he looks awesome. For his display, I'm using the base that comes with the Thunder Toys Spider-Man figure because I can hide the flight pole easily, which aids with the look I'm going for. I also purchased a wired cape from Unreal Toys, and I'm using the paperclip method again to hook him into the flagpole and hold him up. I've also added my Philips Hue globe behind the base here to help light up this area, which I think will be a long-term lighting option for up here moving forward. For me, I feel these Superman figures need to be in the air, and displaying them up the top here allows me to get really the most out of them that I want, as I can never do this in the cabinets I have currently without it being cramped and obscured by other figures. Okay, now let's take a look at my current Gal Gadot Wonder Woman section of the display. For those that have watched my previous collection tour video, you would know that I had the Wonder Woman with the wings spread out up here since I built the display, and I must say that was a catalyst which aided in convincing me I had to try and move the entire DC display up here. Starting with the 1984 suit, which I just received recently. I really like this figure and the body is really cool. For her, I've added a blue cloak which I got off eBay, and I think that goes really well and eliminates that giraffe neck that I've heard some other people mention. I will do more with this figure eventually, so stay tuned for that. Moving on to the wings out and helmet on version. I have her in what I think is a heroic pose, rising up, sitting on some clear risers to give her some height above the other two figures, so when I see it from below it looks better visually. Funny thing is, I actually really love this angle when viewing her, as I think the likeness is fantastic from here. It's just spot on. Lastly, let's look at the second Golden Armor Wonder Woman I have. We have her using the closed wing option with the helmet off, standing there holding the lasso of truth. I do love this figure and look for Gal. That's why I have two display options for her. And yes, I'm crazy. Okay guys, moving on to the last figure on the shelf. We have Aquaman, the King of Atlantis, sitting on his throne. Now, I love Jason Momoa and I loved his performance of Aquaman, and I love his standalone film, so this figure has a special place for me, even though it isn't the best made figure out there. For the base, it is actually the base that came with the quarter scale Aquaman sideshow statue, which I also have. Problem with that is the magnets stopped working in the statue and he started leaning. So in the meantime, until I get it fixed, I've added the base to go with this guy here, and I actually really love this look and may keep it like this for a long time. I hope Hot Toys does one last figure of him from his new Aquaman film, and I hope they give us a newer, better made version of this suit. Although that's probably unlikely unless he wears it in the film again. It would be sweet if InArt gave it a go with rooted hair. I would love to see that. For now though, he'll continue to rule over the collection room up here on his throne. And that's it guys and girls. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of On the Shelf, my current DC Snyder-Verse display. I'd love to know what you think. Do you yourself display figures outside of cabinets and up on top of your display? Or do you think that that's something that you shouldn't do? Whatever your thoughts are, leave a comment below and let me know. I thank you all for tuning in, and if you haven't already done so, do us a favor and hit that like button, notification bell, and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on when new videos in this series go live. And if you want a little more, consider taking a look at becoming a channel member and joining the Iron Legion. We have a closed Facebook group and do once a month live hangouts where we chat and pose up figures together for fun, plus more. Lastly, we got reviews and unboxings, story-styled posing showcases, display tips and tricks, plus live streams including the rundown where we deep dive into film and TV. But for now guys, until next time, I'm out.